Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 21st. Our first order of business this evening will be our invocation and pledges. Our invocation this evening is going to be led by Father Reverend Roy Thomas from St. Andrew's Episcopal Church.
Honorable Mayor Terry Lynn, esteemed members of the Farmers Branch City Council, on behalf of St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Farmers Branch, I bring you greetings in the name of the one triune God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. The Lord be with you.
With your spirit.
Let us pray. Oh God, we come before you this evening with gratitude. We thank you for being a God of love who is with us now in this very room. You never leave us nor forsake us. Lord, your grace has brought us safe thus far, and your grace will lead us home. We thank you for making each of us in this room, every person we meet, every citizen of the city and of every city in your own image, with dignity and infinite worth. We thank you for the calling you have given every one of us to be good stewards of your creation and to love our neighbors as ourselves. At this time, O God, we commend our nation, our state, our country, our county, our city to thy merciful care, that being guided by thy providence, we may dwell secure in thy peace. Grant to President Biden, Governor Abbott, County Judge Jenkins, Mayor Lynn, and all those in authority, wisdom and strength to know and to do thy will. Fill our city council, our city staff members, and all members of our city with the love of truth and righteousness. We give thanks for the way of service they have chosen to take up on behalf of all of us, the sacrifices they make, and the loved ones that they bring into service. All of their dedication is noted and appreciated. Remind us, O Lord, that it's not only those in official positions, but also every single one of us who share a common purpose in serving your people. We all come to this room tonight as complex human beings, carrying burdens, carrying joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together, O God, in your love and peace. Help us, O Lord, to trust you more than our fears and our wounds, and even more than our own accomplishments. Lord, make us all an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. And where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. We know that our plans may not be your plans, that our ways may not be your ways. Therefore, humble us, O Lord, that we might lean on your eternal wisdom tonight and always walk in the light of your salvation. All this we ask of Jesus Christ our Lord, who liveth and reigneth with thee in the Holy Spirit, one God, world without end. Amen.
Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
So next up this evening are our ceremonial items. The first one is G1, which is conduct oath of office and receive welcome remarks from our newly elected council member, Dave Reed, and from District 3, and council member Roger Neal from District 5. So, Dave, would you like to come down? Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who's going to read your
Where do I want to stand?
I, David Reed,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duty of City Council Member for District 3
the duty of City Council Member for District 3
for the City of Farmers Branch
for the City of Farmers Branch
of the State of Texas
of the State of Texas,
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the laws, the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God. Don't worry, it won't be long. Since I haven't had an opportunity to meet many of you, I figured I'd go a little bit into my history and what brought me here. I've lived in Farmers Branch for almost 4 years with my wife Patty and daughter Nevaeh, and I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank them both for their flexibility and support for me taking on this new position. We also have 3 adult children who currently live in various states on the East Coast, and hopefully will be watching this at some point on video. So, hey, Rob, Dave, and Sam. And for those who are wondering, those who have seen me wearing my hat, I was wearing the hat before we knew we were relocating to Texas. So it's not something new. I have dedicated the majority of my adult life to service. As a member of the Army National Guard, I took a never-ending oath similar to what I took today to protect and defend the U.S. Constitution and our country. While living in Massachusetts, I was an active member of a charitable civic organization called the JC's, Junior Chamber of Commerce, and that was for over 20 years, and was also elected as a representative to town meeting in my hometown for 2 terms. Since moving to Farmers Branch, I've been an active member of the Metro Crest Chamber of Commerce, formerly Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce, served on the Parks and Rec Board, and have graduated from both the Farmers Branch Citizens Police Academy and the Citizens on Patrol, where I continue to volunteer my time as a COP to help keep our community safe. As Terry referenced earlier, professionally I have been a successful real estate agent with Keller Williams for the last 10 years, and currently serve folks throughout the DFW Metroplex area to meet their real estate needs and goals. This career not only affords me the schedule flexibility to meet the needs of a city council member, it also has created opportunities for my team and me to support the North Dallas Food Bank and the Storehouse Community Center. So having the honor and privilege of being a city councilman seemed like a natural next step down the path I have been following. I look forward to the opportunity to apply my knowledge, skills, and experiences to serve the city of Farmers Branch and its residents, working towards the ultimate goal of making it an even better place to live and call home. Thank you.
So we have a Farmers Branch City Council pin that I'd like to present you with.
Excellent. Thank you.
And then this is to certify, this is from the state of Texas, to certify that a general election was held on May 4th, and David Reed was duly elected City Council Member District 3, the city of Farmers Branch. So I'm going to present that to you also.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. I'm gonna do this too. Hi, Rick. Got it, thank you.
Thank you, congratulations. And next up is Roger Neal, our new District 5 representative. So swearing in Roger tonight is Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. Let's move on.
Roger, I just want to tell you before you take this oath, that the first oath that I took was on 31 July 1982. As a 21-year-old officer coming into the United States Army. When you take an oath, it is something that binds you to serve something that is greater than yourself. And in this case, you are taking this oath that will bind you to the service and the sacrifice and commitment of the people here in the city of Farmers Branch. And you represent what our founding fathers wanted us to have and wanted us to be: citizen servants and citizen legislators. And this is the most important branch and level of governance, because you're the level of governance that touches the people most closely. So if you are ready to take this oath, please place one hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Roger Neal,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of City Council Member for District 5
of City Council Member for District 5
for the City of Farmers Branch, State of Texas,
for the City of Farmers Branch, State of Texas,
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect, and defend
defend
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Well, that's a little bit hard to follow, but thank you, Colonel West, for those kind words. Very much appreciated, and so grateful that you came tonight. Thank you, sir. I'll be brief here. I just want to, first of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for I believe that without him, none of this would be possible. So thank you, Lord Jesus. Next, I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Rosemary, for her support during this most recent journey. I know that we've had some ups and downs along the way, and so thank you very much, and I love you. So thirdly, I just want to thank the many supporters and the volunteers that are here that helped me during my campaign by putting out flyers, knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending text messages, counseling me along the way, and I just want to thank you all for that much needed support. So, and lastly, and by no means least, I want to thank those residents and the voters here in District 5 that who've given me this opportunity to be your representative, and I'm so grateful to you. And I will strive to work hard for you and listen to your concerns as well. As many of you know, in District 5, I've knocked on your door at least once, in some cases twice, and when necessary, I took notes of your concerns, and I have them here in this book that you may remember. I made notes as I talked with you on your doorstep, and I will remain mindful of those doorstep conversations as we move forward. So, and I know lastly, that we'll not always agree here on council, but having an open, respectful conversation and interactions can only benefit all of us as well as the city. So I'm hopeful we can agree on most things, and but in those cases where we cannot, I'm just hopeful that we can come to some compromise when possible, and at the very least maintain our level of integrity and remain respectful of one another. So with that being said, thank you all for coming tonight. I know we have a lot of work to do, and so let's get to work. Thanks again for coming. Thank you.
So again, Roger, it gives me great pleasure to present you with the City Council pin.
Thank you.
Wear that. And again, a certificate to certify that a general election held on May 4th, that Roger Neal was duly elected City Council member of District 5, City of Farmers Branch. And so congratulations again.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you, Mr.
glad that you're here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And next up is item G2, which is presentation of the Employee of the Month for April to James Tenorio, Code Enforcement Officer. Where's James? Do you want to read this, or you want to?
I can. I was going to say my own thing, but if you want to read that, then I can say my own thing.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so as we do every month, we recognize our outstanding employees, and the City of Farmers Branch, we have a strong culture of nurture that nurtures respect. We value everyone's opinion and acknowledge their perspective. We strive for excellence and constantly look for ways to do our very best. We believe in accountability. We care and trust, and these are the city's core values. This is our culture's reaction. The leadership of the City of Farmers Branch appreciates the effort, dedication, and time our employees put into their jobs. The City of Farmers Branch has a program to recognize employees for depicting these values. We appreciate and value and recognize our employees' hard work and efforts. Tonight, we recognize James, Code Enforcement Officer for our Neighborhood Services Department, as our Employee of the Month for the month of April. James has been a dedicated member of the City of Farmers Branch since 2021, consistently demonstrating his value as an asset to our organization. Throughout the years, James has consistently supported his team members and prioritized the well-being of our community and residents. His commitment to excellence and service is commendable. And so we all just want to say thank you and congratulations to you this evening.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Christina Raimhild. I'm the Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Farmers Branch. I've been here for a little over 3 months, and I know that James has been here for coming on 3 years. But just watching James with residents, with his fellow coworkers, and just watching the dedication and the passion that he has for this job and representing code enforcement, he is showing the residents and everybody how important it is and the face that we're trying to show, that we're here to help the residents. And we continue to appreciate James and everything that he does for us.
So James, we have this award for you, and it has your name on it. So thank you very much for all you do for our city.
Thank you.
You want to say a few words?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd like to thank my family for being here, and I wish I can break this award into pieces, because my team is great, my management's great, and I want to change the way people view code enforcement, because a lot of things that we do go unnoticed. A lot of things that we do is go unnoticed. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Next up is item G3, presentation of a 5-year service award to Ashley Munoz of the Parks and Recs Department. So back in 2015, Ashley embarked on her adventure with our wonderful city as a part-time lifeguard. Since then, her unwavering dedication and outstanding leadership qualities have been nothing short of extraordinary. She has climbed the ladder of success through her determination and hard work, earning promotions to various pivotal roles within our Parks Department, and we really appreciate that. From her beginning as a lifeguard, Ashley swiftly ascended the ranks, demonstrating her expertise and commitment in positions positions such as head lifeguard, aquatics specialist, aquatics coordinator, aquatics supervisor, and aquatics assistant manager. Today, we celebrate her latest achievement as the recreation manager, a testament to the exceptional capabilities and tireless efforts. Ashley's journey exemplifies our city's pledge and cultivate leaders from within. Her steadfast dedication, relentless work ethic, and unwavering passion for our mission embody the very essence our REACT culture inspires all who work alongside her. So thank you very much. Jessica, would you like to say a few words?
Wrote down a few sentences. I'm so proud to celebrate Ashley Munoz on her 5-year anniversary with our amazing city. Her dedication, hard work, and commitment have significantly contributed to our department's growth and success. Here's to many more years of achievements and excellence together. Congratulations on this wonderful milestone.
So we have this lovely 5-year service pin. It's really pretty. Would you like to say a few words?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, well, come, let's get a picture. And our last item is G4, which is presentation of a proclamation recognizing May 19th through 25th as National Public Works Week. Is Ryan here? Come on down. So May 19th through the 25th, 2024 is National Public Works Week. Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services vital to sustainable and resilient communities. Their work directly contributes to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the residents of Farmers Branch. From maintaining roads and bridges to managing water and waste systems, their efforts are instrumental in ensuring a safe and comfortable living environment for all. 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. So with that, we have a proclamation, and this is from the Office of the Mayor. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Farmers Branch. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential to our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Farmers Branch to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest in understanding the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association, now, therefore, I, Terry Lynn, Mayor of the City of Farmers Branch, do hereby designate the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public work professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing our quality of life for all. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan Sarter, Director of Public Works.
Appreciate this. I didn't prepare anything, but I'll give it a go. My name is Ryan Sauter. I am the outgoing Director of Public Works. The incoming director, Ray Silvares, is with us here tonight as well. I've been with the city for 12 years. I worked with 2 other cities other than Farmers Branch, and I associate with cities across the state. And I can say with certainty that we have the best public works division in this state. We provide the city services we provide go above and beyond what you will receive in any other city in this state. They absolutely deserve that. You will not see them up here looking for accolades from anybody, but you will see them at 1 o'clock in the morning fixing a water main, or sweeping up a street, or cutting tree branches, or assisting other departments with different needs. They are amazing at what they do, and they do it thanklessly. They're all very well trained. They provide endless services to others within the city, and they also do their due diligence by going to additional classes and getting additional licensings, even those that aren't required by the state, just to ensure that they have the knowledge they need to do their jobs well. It's been a pleasure to work here for the last 12 years. I'm pleased to say that I will be ending my civil career here at Farmers Branch at the end of June. And this is a great way to top that off. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for supporting this city. Thank you for supporting the employees of the city. And thank you to City Council for all the support that you have provided me through my tenure here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Our items of community interest for this council meeting of May 21st, 2023. Swimmers, get ready. The Frog Pond Water Park opens on Memorial Day weekend, this coming weekend. It's affordable and it's fun for all ages with 2 30-foot twisty slides, a lazy river, and a kids' activity pool. The Frog Pond Water Park is a perfect place to beat the heat this summer. Day passes are only $5 for our residents and $10 for non-residents. Learn more at fbh2o.com. Celebrate the end of school with a Mansky dance party. We'll have popular kids music and you can bring your own dance moves. It'll be Saturday, May 25th, also this weekend from 3 to 5 p.m. at Mansky Library. Light refreshments will be provided. Memorial Day will be Monday, May 27th, so keep in mind that our City Hall and Mansky Library will be closed. The Rec Center, Aquatic Center, and Historical Park will all close at 5 p.m. that day. However, garbage and recycling will be collected on Monday, May 27th. Help us fight the bite. Mosquito season here in Texas starts earlier and lasts longer than in other states, so we strongly recommend the 5D method. Drain standing water, apply insect repellent that contains DEET, dress in light-colored long sleeve and long pants outdoors, minimize outdoor activities at dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are most active, and keep doors and windows closed to keep those bugs out. From now through August 9th, many of you may know the Branch Connection has relocated most programs and activities to alternate locations, including the First Baptist Church right out here on William Dodson Parkway. Most TBC activities will resume at city facilities on August 12th. Get updates at thebranchconnection.com. Make plans now for the next Denton Drive Live concert on Saturday, June 1st. 2 great Cajun bands will entertain in our historical park. We'll have Jean-Pierre and the Zydeco Angels, as well as Chubby Carrier and his Bayou Swamp Band. Try saying that 3 times real fast. The concerts are always free and open to the public. Learn more at DentonDriveLive.com. How would your teens like to learn about firefighting? We still have room for a few more students in the next teen fire and rescue camp. The week features hands-on challenges and ends with an awards lunch, June 3rd through 7th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Fire Administration Building here in Farmers Branch. Registration fee is $50 for residents, $65 for non-residents. Visit farmersbranchtx.gov or fbreccenter.com for more information. A warning, Encore has recently identified various scams across our area. These imposters are thieves trying to cheat customers into giving them money. They falsely impersonate Encore employees to collect cash or credit card information. Remember, no Encore employee will ever stop by your home to collect a payment, nor will they ever ask you via phone, text, in person, or online for credit card information. Contact Encore at 888-313-6862 for more information on that topic. And this is a fun one. We suddenly have a crowd of cute kittens at the Animal Adoption Center. Come see for yourself. There they are. We have several dozen just waiting for their forever homes. Yours may be it. We also have older cats, puppies, rabbits, and dogs ready for adoption. Maybe now is the perfect time to add a new member to your family. Couldn't resist. Call the AAC at 972-919-8770. Also, residents on the west side of I-35 will have an additional trash collection day beginning the week of June 3rd. Pickup in this service area will be on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Recycling and brush will continue to be collected only on Wednesdays, and your bulk pickup week collection day will still be Wednesday as well. For questions, please call 972-919-2613. And as always, you can sign up for City e-News at farmersbranchtx.gov. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Next up is our report on study session items. And so I will tell you, we began our study session this afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we got partway through it, talking about such topics as the proposed 2024-2025 city budget, the city strategic compensation initiative, and a couple of other things. We did receive some information regarding a multifamily report, which reviewed the number of apartments that are in each section of the city, the east, the central, and the west side of the city. Let me just tell residents that information will be online, available at farmersbranchtx.gov, but sometime later in the year, I'm thinking maybe September or October, we will have a town hall meeting to discuss the state of multifamilies. So stay tuned for more information coming out on that. Item B5, which was to receive an update on the Gateway to the Globe event, was supposed to be, it was on the study session agenda. That is being moved to regular agenda, and that will be M3. So item M3 will be to receive an update on Gateway to the Globe event, which took place this summer. Next up are citizen comments. And I have two individuals that have signed up to speak this evening. The first is Debbie Hall. So let me just remind everybody, there's a 3-minute time limit for each citizen to speak, with a reasonable limitation on speakers on one topic or item, with a maximum of 15 minutes total on the same topic or item. Anyone wishing to speak shall be courteous and cordial. Please refrain from disparaging or inflammatory remarks directed at any member of the city council, city staff, a board or commission. And when you do come up to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. Ms. Hall.
Ready?
I'm Debbie Hall, and I live at 14425 Hay here in Farmers Branch. As a member of the Branch Connection, I would like to personally thank the residents of Farmers Branch who voted yes to Proposition B at the last bond election. The approved funds will allow the completion of the total renovation of the Branch Connection. When it is completed, it will offer a stunning, beautiful, state-of-the-art facility for the members of our Branch Connection community. I would also like to thank Jackie Biles and his team, Ashley Munoz, who worked at the Branch Connection, and Jennifer Stone, the staff, and all the volunteers who have worked so hard to make sure that we are able to maintain our programming throughout this renovation. We've been able to maintain over 50% of our programming. And of course, with that, we've also had to find facilities throughout the city to be able to house all these programs, and it has been major troop movements. By the time we move back to our facility, when it is finished, hopefully the end of the year, we will have moved 4 times. So I cannot thank Jackie and his crew enough to get us, because it's been start and stop. I mean, the project's going to start, then it's going to stop, and they've had to start all over again trying to find places for us to have our events. So thank you so much. But I would really like to thank the Senior Advisory Board members, past and present, and the members of the Branch Connection who have been on this journey, years-long journey with us, and their patience, their understanding, their flexibility, and their anticipation that we will be able to present them with a beautiful facility. Just a matter of months. We're so excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Pat Edmonston. Pat Edmonston? Okay. That's all I have signed up for citizen comment. Next up is our consent agenda, and I would entertain a motion from somebody to approve our consent agenda.
Mayor, I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Second.
Just a question. It looks like we had a study session item related to the consent. So are we not going to have that? Are we not going to have that item discussed in study session later? It's
which one?
B6 and K3.
That's why it's on there.
Okay.
So that's what council chooses to want to discuss it or not.
If council wishes to discuss that item, we can pull that from the consent agenda, put it on regular.
Yeah, I didn't have any questions. I just didn't know if that needed to be
since we didn't
discussed.
finish earlier, but up to you. We have a motion, somebody's made a motion, there hadn't been a second yet, so.
Did anybody have any questions on K3? And if not, I'm happy to make the second. K4, K3. Okay, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda item as presented.
Okay, how about a second?
Oh, second.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. I would like to say, just as a point of information on K2, this item dealt with a piece of property that is out here on Valley View Lane that the school district owned, and we had been maintaining for, I can't tell you how many years. I had approached the school district about selling that piece of property to us, and thank you to the help of Randy Shackman, Dr. Wendy Eldridge, and Pete Smith, we actually didn't have to buy that piece of property. The school district has donated that to the city, so we're going through the title transfer process and whatnot, but I did want to recognize them for assisting in this effort. It was a very, very good public and city and school district project. So thank you to those folks for helping the city out. All right. Next up is a public hearing, item L1. Conduct a public hearing and consider adopting ordinance number 3859 to amend various sections of the comprehensive zoning ordinance related to the development standards and expectations, or expirations rather, for site plans and take appropriate action.
Thank you, Mayor, Council members. Marcus Narvaez, Deputy Director of Planning. This item was initially presented to the City Council during the strategic planning session a few months back, and recently was brought to the Planning and Zoning Commission in April. The idea behind this was to update, or the idea behind this update is to actually reduce the number of approved site plans that are out of date or unlikely to be constructed within our city. Over time, as the city progresses, it is possible that outdated plans that may not be compatible with the existing surrounding land uses or market conditions do occur. So this is just a way of cleaning up this particular process. Staff has examined the regulations in neighboring jurisdictions. As you can see, expirations tend to be between 1 and 2 years of a detailed site plan being approved. Staff has recommended a building permit be obtained within 2 years of approval when a building permit is absolutely necessary, or when a building permit is not needed, a CO must also be acquired within 6 months of approval. On April 22nd, the Commission unanimously recommended approval with the modification that Section B5 be amended. B5 located within your ordinance. It basically allows the director to authorize one or more extensions to the expiration of a detailed site plan, which may not require new construction. With that, I can take any questions you may have on this item.
Council questions? Councilman Neal?
Just one question, that is, if there is such an expiration, what happens then? Does it have to start the process all over again, or what happens?
That's correct. So there's two options. We could always add an extension to it if it expires. More than likely, they just have to go back through the detailed site plan process all over again. We bring it back to P&Z City Council.
Thank you. That's all, Mayor.
Councilman Jackson? Okay. So I want to say, I brought this up because of something that had happened here in the city where somebody had gotten approval to develop a site, waited, I think it was 8 or 9 years before they ever decided to build anything, and then they built townhomes across the street from what is now Hoya Park. This created a hardship for homes on the back side of that, for single-family homes on the back side of that development. Residents said they didn't have any knowledge of what was going to be built there, et cetera, et cetera. Some of the people didn't even live there when it was approved. So my rationale for trying to bring this forward was that hopefully, if council approves a site plan and a developer is not ready to develop their property, with a 2-year expiration, somebody should be here on council to remember what went on. Because under the other scenario, nobody was here who had any idea of what had happened. And so when the developer decided to build, it was a shock to everyone because it had taken so long. I do think that there needs to be some provision for an extension if 24 months isn't quite long enough. Sometimes it takes longer than that to get engineering and other plans approved. So I don't know if that's something you would add in now or.
Yeah, if that's something that you guys would like to add in, absolutely, you can make the motion to approve with that language.
Okay.
Also.
I just, the main gist of the idea was to make sure that there would be somebody on council who was here when this, or whenever any item is originally approved, that somebody will have some working knowledge of it and hopefully remember.
Agreed.
Aside from staff. So I'd like to add the caveat that they could extend for an additional 12 months if needed, but they would have to come back before council in order to gain that extension.
And that's the extension of the detailed site plan,
Yes.
correct? After it expires.
Does anybody have any questions, comments about that?
Mayor, my question was going to be around if we did allow some extension, what would that amount of time be? And so, Marcus, is the one-year extension consistent with what other cities permit? Do you know? Is that any part of our?
Yeah, Lily had done some research on these other cities, and that is very consistent to have those extensions with other cities. Absolutely.
I'm agreeable with that, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? No other questions, comments? This is a public hearing. I don't have anybody signed up to speak on it, so I will move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. All in favor of closing the public hearing? Okay. This item is marked for action, so somebody would like to make a motion?
Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 3859 with the modification to include an extension clause allowing an additional 12 months.
Very good, thank you.
I hate to do this, I need clarification. The existing ordinance in the packet indicates that the director may extend for 1 year once it expires. I think the motion, as stated with the proposed amendment, means that the council may authorize an extension of up to 12 months. Is that correct?
That seems like what I understood as well.
Okay, just wanted clarification on that because that's what we'll be voting on. Thank you.
Yeah. Second? Anybody?
Mayor, I'll second the motion.
Thank you. And we have motion and second. If you would, please indicate your vote accordingly. Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Next up is M1. Consider a resolution number 2024-072, authorizing the city manager to award a contract to J&L Construction, Inc. for the water main replacement 2024 Group B project in the amount of $3,078,150 and take appropriate action.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Ryan Sauter, Director of Public Works. And this evening, we are discussing a large water main replacement project, and there's a small component of sewer main attached to it as well. Background. This project, Group B, is part of a continuous water replacement program. Mains being replaced are old cast iron mains, as well as some clay sanitary sewer mains. They will be replaced with the new updated PVC pipe. The project selected was based on off the prioritization list that we have. It is a running list that we maintain, and focus is directed to main materials identified in the LCRR initiative. April 5th and 12th, the 2024 project was advertised for bid. April 22nd, the 2024 bid opening was completed, and we did receive one bid. That bid was from J&L Construction, who did meet the minimum guidelines and standards, and they were the sole bidder in the amount of $3,078,150. These are the locations and the links of the material that we will be replacing in this project. It's 1,150 feet of cast iron on Goodland Place, 1,000 linear feet on Goodland Street, 2,030 linear feet on Dennis Lane. Richland Avenue, we have two projects on that one, 1,250 linear feet of cast iron, 1,200 feet of clay sewer. And then Tom Field is 1,000 linear feet cast iron water. Total runs about a little over 7,600 feet of pipe. And there's a nice little map there showing where these areas are at. And with that, we have discussion.
Council, does anybody have any questions regarding this project?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ryan. When is this project, if approved tonight, when is this project supposed to start?
It will take, it's normally taking about 30 days to procure material, and then probably another 15 days on mobilization. So we'll be looking at 30 to 45 days before the project begins, once we execute all the contracts. And it's going to take us probably another 2 weeks to execute contracts, so.
Okay. And there's going to be a number of residents affected, their normal patterns, and so
Yes.
just so that the public that's watching understands.
And
how
we
you're
will
gonna communicate.
we will be communicating through door hangers, door knocks. We'll also be putting it on the website using Jeff and Samantha. Our admin also does some of our website maintenance. So everything will be posted on the website as well. We'll also have air boards and traffic billboards, the message board signs out at our construction sites as well, giving everybody a heads up. We try to give everybody at least a 7-day notice before we start construction on their street, so that they understand that traffic patterns are probably going to change. There's going to be some interruptions.
Right, good. Yeah, you guys always do a great job of notifying the community, but there's always, some that don't get the message.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And estimated completion date?
Good question. With this project, you're looking at 7,000 feet. You're probably going to be after the first year.
Yeah. So
before
you can
this
say
is
anything
done.
you want because you're leaving, right?
I can, but I want to be as accurate as possible.
So shortly after the first year?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay? And then lastly, the funds for this project are coming from the CIP?
Yes, sir.
That money's already there?
Yes, sir.
It's not bond money that was just approved?
No, sir. We haven't even started on that one yet. That's next.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Mayor.
You bet. Anybody else? Okay.
Hey, Ryan, I'm just wondering if you have any idea why we only received one bid on this?
There is so much work right now. It's nearly impossible to get a bid for a project. There are so many companies that do not have the resources to direct to these projects right now. The last project we did, we had 7 bids. And this time, we had 1. I had lunch with a company today, and they said they're so overwhelmed, they can barely take anything right now. They can't do any emergency services, just because they don't have the resources. Too much work.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? This item is marked for action, so
Mayor, I'll move to approve resolution number 2024-072 as presented.
Mayor, I'll second.
thank you. We have a motion and second. If you would, please indicate your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Next up is item M2, elect a mayor pro tem and deputy mayor pro tem for the period of June 2024 through May 2025 and take appropriate action.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that I retain the role of Mayor Pro Tem and appoint Roger Neal as Deputy Mayor Pro Tem.
Very good. Second.
Mayor, I'll second.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please indicate your vote. Or is there any discussion? We didn't ask any discussion. If you would, please indicate your vote accordingly. Motion did not pass. Okay, we can go. Okay. Are there any nominees or any other consideration in regards to this?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to have me, Omar Roman, as Mayor Pro Tem, and Richard Jackson as Deputy Mayor Pro Tem.
Very good. Do we have a motion? Is there a second?
Mayor, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. If you would, indicate. Motion passes. Thank you. Next up is item M3, receive an update on Gateway to the Globe event.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Today we'll bring forth the event summary wrap-up for our inaugural multicultural event. First off, on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Department, I would like to thank each of the task force committee members for their involvement with making this event one of a kind for Farmers Branch. Here is a short video. Okay. And show. Okay. Beginning with the Multicultural Committee, the purpose of this committee was to advise the council regarding planning and programming of the city's new multicultural event. They included with various roles in this event planning as far as the event theme, logo, entertaining, educational programming, site decor, food selections, site layout, logistics, and community outreach. This committee, held by the Special Events Team, met monthly from October through April at the Recreation Center and Historical Park. The committee sunsetted on April 30th, 2024, per the resolution adopted by the City Council in 2013. This event was put in place to help promote world geography, traditions, and cultures to the residents of Farmers Branch and the greater North Texas area. With input from the Multicultural Task Force, the event was dedicated to creating a platform to share cultural heritage by showcasing exceptional exhibits, foods, and performances from representatives of diverse nationalities. Event details. The event was held on Saturday, March 23rd from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Historical Park with free admission. The event featured a main stage, a kids stage, food vendors, marketplace area, and a giant world piñata. There was approximately 2,100 in attendance, 20 different performance groups, 29 cultural booths, and 3 food trucks. The budget for this year was $35,000, with actual spending right below $34,000. Revenue from the booths and food trucks was $5,200. Event feedback that we received from the committee and residents was to change the date to March 29, 2025, eliminate the kids stage, enhance the kids entertainment area, increase the event budget, stage area and location enhancements, stay on schedule, expand food offerings, time of meetings, sponsorship opportunities, event layout, and how to get the community involved. With that is the end of my presentation. Is there any questions?
Council's Council, does anybody have any questions regarding the event?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you and the staff for putting this together. It was an incredible event, and just watching the replay and the video that you guys put together was very, very exciting and heartwarming to see all different types of cultures coming together for this exciting event. So it was great, and thank you guys for working very hard to put it together, as well as our committee.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Jessica. I want to echo the sentiments. What an incredibly successful event for the first time out of the gate. There was so much color, festivity, people were happy, there were worlds coming together, there was a lot of unity, harmony. It was exactly, it was exactly the vision. And I think that the board, the commission that we put together to bring all of the participants together, and the marketing and everything, did a fantastic job. They sacrificed their time, met over several months. They had a bit of a condensed time frame to coordinate a lot and to make a big impression, a big first impression, and they knocked it out of the park. And so thank you very much. Thank you to the board, and I look forward to next year's.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I was there also, and I thought it was a great event, first time event, always room for improvement, but we'll get there. But everybody who came had a really good time, and just it was really interesting to see all the diversity and sample foods from some other places that I would never have eaten had I not been there. But great job for the staff for putting it on. I know a couple of folks who were involved are no longer with us, but it was a really good team effort, and so look forward to seeing it again next year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So as I mentioned earlier, we did not finish our study session, but this will conclude our city council meeting for this evening. We will stay right here and finish study session items, and then be going into executive session. So with that, I'll resume the study session at 7:04 with item B6. Discuss an amendment to the construction contract with Klutz Construction.
They've already passed that.
We already did it. Well, I
They
was reading
wanna
it
talk
anyway.
about It's already been approved to consent.
Do I need to still read it?
So if you have council, let them know you're.
All right, well, B6 we already approved, so we'll move on. Next will be B8, discuss the request for fencing within the Coventry subdivision in Mercer Crossing.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Again, Marcos Narvaez, Deputy Director of Planning. So we had this requested from a council member also regarding a presentation to the Coventry subdivision in Mercer Crossing, and this is related to fencing of an existing common area and trail section that already exist. To provide an overview, the concerns cited were dog waste in the area, and that residents that may reside outside of this particular subdivision were utilizing this area to access the area. This common area is platted as a utility drainage and a pedestrian access, or a public pedestrian access easement. Because of this easement, city's consent is needed if a fence were to be erected, a fence and a gate were to be erected within this particular area. So here's a larger aerial of the area. The trail does connect 3 adjacent apartment complexes. The single-family housing that you see in this location and the multifamily housing, actually, it's all part of the same plan development. It's all part of PD 99. So on the right-hand side of the slide that that I have up on the screen right now, you'll see the landscape plan from 2016. On the left-hand side is the final plat. The green area all designates the common lots, that all common lots in this particular case all have public pedestrian access easements. So when this PD was approved, they didn't set the trail at that time, back in whenever this was platted. The trail was set, obviously, when they did the landscape plan, but they made the entire parcels of each one of these common lots pedestrian access easements. So the trail that's in question right now, it is about 8 feet wide. It has street trees. It's got ADA access, benches. Some of these pictures show the area that's leading up to that common lot area. You can also see the pedestrian bridge that was installed. There's also 2 DART stations within this vicinity. So PD 99 also states that the single family aspect of this and the multifamily aspect, they're linked together through this network of pathways and trails. It also focuses, or the PD itself really focuses on the sidewalk environment that's supposed to be supportive to pedestrian mobility, essentially. We did talk to our attorneys, and we did find the following items regarding the potential next steps. There is a licensing agreement that the city would absolutely need to sign with the HOA if this was to come through. The Mercer Residential West HOA, they would be the ones that would need to actually make such a request for something like this. I would say that most important would be the consent from the property owners. That may be required. But ultimately, what we received from our legal staff is that this gathering of consent and this process really is a private matter, and it needs to be initiated by the Mercer Residential West HOA. So with that, I can take any questions you may have.
Council? Council, any questions?
So just to provide a little bit of context, I had asked for this item. There was a resident, and then there became a few more residents who had reached out to me from the specific neighborhood regarding some issues that they've been experiencing. And I think, Marcos, you used the correct terminology here, that this trail is a link to the apartments and to the neighborhood. Unfortunately, sometimes as we've seen and heard from residents, the cohabitation of both multifamily and then single family sometimes isn't necessarily cohesive. And so we've had an issue come up where the apartment dwellers will go on that trail, end up going into the neighborhood and with their dogs, and their dogs will go potty and they don't pick it up. And so it becomes then a responsibility of the homeowners or the HOA to monitor and pay for that when the issue really wasn't theirs. We've tried several issues to try and mediate this. We've tried communicating with the property managers of the apartment complexes. We've also spoken to the regional managers who are in charge of all of the apartments, so the ones with the gray, black-gray rooftops and then the white rooftops, to get some help from them, to no avail. And we've had staff research implementing some kind of ordinance whereby requiring apartment complexes to have some sort of DNA testing policy for their dogs, and if there's poop that's found, they turn it in, they send it to a lab, and they can ping the dog that defecated. It was something that with one of the apartments that I've lived in did, and the fee for that was $500, so no one wanted to get hit with a $500 fine. So it was a very slippery slope with doing that, so that did not move forward. The HOA has added a poop station to try and mediate this. Residents in that area have confronted the apartment dwellers, and that didn't go well either. We've also had animal services involved. So we've tried nearly anything and everything we could to try and resolve this issue. And sometimes I think you just have to stop where people are entering, and really they're entering because it's the path of least resistance. They're able to enter from the rear here. I think it'll solve the problem. If somebody wanted to go back into the neighborhood, they'd have to go out into their sidewalk and then walk all the way down to where you see Harlan Avenue. That's the main entrance to the neighborhood. Everything else is gated off or blocked off with a brick fence separating the single family from the apartment. So I think this is the next best option. I did have a conversation with Brock Babcock, who is currently on the HOA, and given that the declarant is currently in control of items that occur and are paid for from the HOA, it really just requires him to say yes, that's something that they're willing to do. After that conversation, he's committed to going forward to install that fence. But before we could even move forward, we needed to make sure that we had a discussion in council per our attorney's advice to say, yes, we're okay with doing that. So this is why we're having the conversation here today.
Any additional comment?
So just so I understand this clearly, what we're looking to do is put a gate that blocks, basically interrupts that yellow line.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the gate would need to be installed on where my cursor is, and then there would need to be another fence on this side also as well. So there would be 2 fences. And depending on how the gates are set up, I guess it's really kind of up to the HOA if they want to put one gate or a gate on the other opposite side. Ideally, knowing that the trail runs through that location, it might be ideal to have 2 gates, one on one side, one on the other, in case that ever just something changes and they decide to open it up.
Okay.
Would probably be best case scenario.
And that area is totally within the control of the HOA?
That is in control of the West Mercer Crossing, HOA, correct. So that subdivision is Coventry subdivision, but the actual HOA goes beyond just that one subdivision. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other
Yes,
comments?
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just, I want to make sure I'm clear here. There's currently not a fence along this yellow line.
Correct. There's not a fence or gate that blocks that
Okay.
area. So when you actually look at, let me see if I can, this might be a better image here, but yeah, you can walk from the apartments through this area following my cursor and lead out to the opposite, basically to Luna Road. It's an access point to Luna Road.
Okay. And so we're proposing just a gate tonight, not a new fence?
Well, this is just a study. It's just a study session item right now. I think there would have to be a process where a licensing agreement would have to be drafted, and then that would have to be brought back to the city council based on the requirements that any type of easement, any type of fence that's erected within an easement requires council's approval or city approval.
Okay.
I don't think that we'd be paying for the fence. I
No,
think
sir.
the
No.
HOA would be
No, sir.
paying for it.
Yeah, we would not be
That was
involved.
going to be my next clarification, is this would be HOA expense, not city expense.
Absolutely.
Are the sidewalks that go through this neighborhood considered private because they are paid for or maintained by HOA fees, or are they open to the public and anybody who wants to walk on them can?
Anybody can walk on them. They're not maintained by the city. It just so happens that there is a public access easement that runs through that area. That sidewalk is maintained by the HOA. That is not a city-maintained sidewalk.
So the idea of a gate and a fence would be to stop foot traffic coming from the multifamily going into single-family residence. But if I were to drive my car and park it on the side of the street, get out and walk my dog, it doesn't matter where I live, I can still do that.
Yes,
Because
sir.
it's open access to the public.
Yes, sir. Those are all, this is not a private gated subdivision. The right-of-way is open to the public.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm just curious, Councilman Roman, how do we know that it's not maybe some single-family residents whose dogs are pooping along the trail and outside, and they're not cleaning up after themselves?
The gentleman who There's a gentleman in the neighborhood who is very observant, and I think his level of observance comes from his experience in law enforcement. So he's verified where they live.
No further questions, Mayor.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have another question. Putting the gates there, looks like it would dramatically impact the access to the two DART stops to the occupants of the apartment buildings. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, that's accurate to say if somebody was utilizing that to get to the DART stops, true, I think it isn't to say that you couldn't still go along Mercer up to down like along Mercer Parkway, down Luna Road. It definitely adds, it adds some time to somebody who's walking. Yes, sir.
So, just seems like it's a consideration.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Thank you.
Marcus, are you aware of any issues that Public Works might have with the easement access or drainage, or?
No, sir.
Do they have any concerns? In that
Not
area?
that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay, and would this fence be subject to the fencing ordinances and requirements we have here in the city, and will that be maintained by the HOA as well as
Yes, sir.
maintenance and upkeep's paid
It'll
by
need to.
them, as
Yes,
well
sir.
as in alignment with their fencing?
Absolutely, and I
requirements?
believe the PD, I'll need to verify this, but I believe the PD actually calls out certain types of fencing standards. If not, it falls back to our comprehensive zoning ordinance fencing standards. So we're hoping not for a chain link fence or anything like that. I would expect there to be some sort of wrought iron fence
That's what
or
I was asking, if
something to
there's
that
some-
effect. Yes, sir.
Some level of quality we might desire. And just on the west side of Luna, you see that open space there right now on the picture. As I understand it, that's going to be apartments also. Is that not correct in the future?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was originally slated for a hotel that's
So
been converted to
that whole
apartments.
block is going to be apartments there.
Yes, sir.
Would that then maybe require or ask us for an additional fence heading north on that northbound side of Luna to prevent folks from crossing and going into that neighborhood on the east side of Luna? Or is not of any concern to anyone?
No, and I guess I just want to be sure I'm following you on that. When you are you saying that if the fence was here, that would cut off the folks from this side?
Well, I'm just wondering if the folks on that side where your cursor is going across Luna into that neighborhood, is there anything to prevent them from, or would that gate prevent them from getting?
That gate will
neighborhood?
prevent them from going into that location. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I have an additional comment. Referring back to Councilman Reed's point, the folks that are in these multifamily units will lose that shortcut access to the DART bus stops. They will have to go to Mercer Parkway, walk all the way around to the intersection of Mercer and Luna Road, then go to the DART bus stop. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. Yeah, that basically just cuts off it cuts off anyone who is going in that direction, regardless of whether it's for the bus stop or for any other reason. Yes, sir.
And the likelihood of residents in the single-family neighborhood is far lower that they're going to be using the DART transportation than those that would be in the multifamily, I would suggest. I don't have any data to back that up, but I would just think that, if you're using public transportation, you're looking for a home, whether it's single-family or multifamily, closest to access to public transportation. You have far more of those residents in the multifamily property than you do in the single-family properties.
I mean, that sounds valid.
And I'm
Absolutely.
curious
Yes, sir.
if property management might have something to say about cutting off that access. And that access today, is there an official sidewalk there? There's an official walkway that goes through there? Or is that just somebody people cut through there and it's grass or dirt or what?
No, oh no, sir. There's a sidewalk, and I believe the sidewalk was it's not your typical 5-foot sidewalk. It's a wider side. I mean, when this development came to fruition, the idea was to have this where my cursor's going. All of this area right here is all part of that public access easement. So this particular trail section, I wouldn't call it a sidewalk, but it's more of a trail. It's a
Right.
wider 8-foot wide, as opposed to the typical 5-foot wide that you find typically in front of the homes, or maybe even along the rights of way. But that is what the plan development called for at the time.
I'd like to see some kind of option where the residents in those multifamily units do not lose that access, that shortcut to the bus stop. Is that possible?
That is possible. I mean, at the end of the day, I still feel that they're still going to have to come back with an agreement. Like that, this particular HOA is still going to have to approach us, submit the application. We would be able to find out about the fencing materials at that time too. I'd like to say by that point, we would have to know. And then ultimately bring it to city council to get the approval to have a fence erected in this location. So it's something that can be discussed once they submit the application. I mean, right now, it's really more for just general discussion at this point.
Right. I would anticipate, I mean, today's wrought iron fences aren't real wrought iron. It's usually square channeled aluminum, which is pretty easily damaged.
Understood.
And folks that are using that as a shortcut now to get to the bus stop, there's a potential for just ongoing issues with damage to that fence, people creating their shortcut, to get to that bus stop or whatever. So I think there's got to be some kind of happy medium here to accommodate those folks that rely on public transportation that live in the multifamily properties. And I think to Councilman Neal's point, if you could go back to the other map.
Sir.
That large section of land west of Luna, south of Mercer, is going to be multifamily. And, there may be people over in that side, that's mostly single-family residents, but you're going to have probably some infiltration of multifamily tenants going into the neighborhood over there, because there's a nice park over there as well. I might anticipate that there's going to be some issues or concerns raised once those units are filled. They'll be very similar to this one, but
Understood.
I don't think it's the same issue with the DART because it's on Luna Road. It's a straight shot to the DART. Thank you, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I live over there, so I drive on Luna quite often, and one of the concerns that I often get from residents is there's an intersection that's Luna and Mercer Parkway, and then Luna and Whittington, and one of the concerns that I get is that it is, even with the pedestrian signals that exist there for people to cross Luna, it is still really, really dangerous and difficult because of the speed of many of the people that go down there, and the multiple lanes, which means you'll have to go 3 lanes on one side, get to the median, and then get 3 lanes on the other. And you might be with your dog, who might get distracted and will pull you away if they're anything like mine.
Yes, sir.
But so I don't know that the development on the east side would create an issue. If anything, people would probably cross on the Mercer Parkway using the crosswalk there and might go into the neighborhood. But but I don't know that they're going to cross right in the middle of traffic. And then I think what might be helpful, I don't know if this information is available, but it looks like the bus stops are located more closely to the businesses, which to me seems like the intended purpose is to put them near where there's going to be a majority of the users. So I'm thinking that maybe the use of these DART bus stations are not necessarily for the apartment dwellers, but most possibly could be for the people who are on this, the businesses on either sides. So would there be any way of seeing what the traffic looks like for people using the DART bus station in those two stops? And
Like ridership in that case.
Yeah, I don't know if that information is available anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure we could ask the question to DART.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a partner.
And I'm sure they probably had their own methodology of
Yes,
why
sir.
they decided to put them there. I know they just went through a big thing a year ago or a year and a half ago.
Yes, sir.
Where they took down a lot of their stops that just didn't make any more sense and repurposed different areas for them. I want to say it was about a year and a half ago. And so I'm sure they probably have some data to support why certain ones were removed and why certain ones were either left alone or moved to another location to make best use of their DART money. So I don't know if there's a way to maybe tap into that resource and ask hey, why are the stops there? And maybe we can understand better using the research that's already been done, why they're there. Is it for the residents who live in this area, or is it for the people who work in these buildings? Because, I've looked at these apartments and they're all luxury apartments. I've been in their garages as part of a tour with our police department. And I mean, they've got Teslas and Lamborghinis and very expensive vehicles. And that's not to say that there might be individuals who don't have a vehicle, but there certainly is quite a bit of an expense to live there. And I just don't know if they would use them, but at the very least, maybe we can tap into what DART has already found and analyze what they said. And maybe that helps us arrive at what the best decision might be.
Yeah, we can always provide that as a memo to the council, or if we need to do like another study session, that's not a problem at all. Yes, sir.
I think there needs to be a little more research done before this is approved. Go back where you just came.
This one, right?
Perhaps talking to DART, as was previously mentioned, because right now there's no hard evidence, it's all supposition. And so I think there needs to be some fact-based information and probably more today-based versus whatever may have taken place a year and a half or more ago. It might be worthwhile asking if DART would consider putting in a stop at Luna and Mercer, dependent on the answer to the question, are people from these apartment complexes riding the bus?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We could ask
So
some
I think there needs to be a little bit more homework before there's a approval granted on this issue.
Right, and again, this is purely just, this is no action item right now. It's
Yeah.
more of just an update. But again, we can always follow up with a memo to council or hold another study session on this.
Very
That's not
good.
a problem.
Thank you.
Sir.
Anything else? Thank you.
So I just have a quick question. So in terms of next steps, is somebody from the city going to be reaching out to the HOA there, or should I instruct somebody from them, the board, to reach out to you guys and start a process? What would be the preferred path?
Sure, I know from dealing with DART, obviously staff can contact DART, find out more information about that. I think and I'm looking over to David here also, the information that we had received from Kevin Laughlin regarding this was that it's more of a private matter. The HOA needs to initiate that process, whether they have an attorney on their side to figure out if it's something that they're going to need to go to all the property owners to get consent, or if the HOA itself, Mercer Residential West, can just provide that application to us. That would really, in my opinion, I believe would be the next step, but I'll let David.
You understand that this trail is on private property. All the property is owned by the HOA, not by the city. Our involvement in this really is only in that there is public access easement that we have, I guess, some oversight over, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So if and to the extent that the HOA wants to submit a request to us or wants to engage in an agreement that would allow us to consent to the fence, I mean, that's between them and them, and not
Yes.
between us and them.
That'll be the next step.
Okay.
But
so
we'll
I'll
still
have
look.
them
Oh, go ahead. sir.
I'll have them reach out to you?
They could reach out to
Okay.
me. Absolutely, yes, sir. That's fine.
Anything else? Okay, thank you. Moving on.
No problem.
Next up, B9, discuss and provide direction to staff regarding city council liaison appointments to external organizations. So, Stacy?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Oh, wrong one, excuse me. Stacy Henderson, Director of Administrative Services. I'm here before you to discuss City Council liaisons to outside organizations. Each year after the election cycle, we bring this before you to fill any vacancies that might have occurred. Right now, we currently have 5 vacancies of our sister city program, Dallas County Public Health Advisory Committee, Trinity River Authority, North Texas Commission, and the Travel Expense Review Committee. There is a brief description from each board, and so I wanted to go through each one and just see if I have any volunteers for these liaison appointments. A little background on the Sister City program. That is a program that is every 5 years, the cities visit each other through this program, and 2025 is expected to be a visiting year. So that will be an active program next year. So that will be a busier year for this program. Do you want to go through one at a time, Mayor, or
I
would you
do,
like to
but
proceed?
I think it's important to say, we've had liaisons appointed to committees in the past that haven't done anything with their appointment. Didn't show up for meetings, did not make reports back to council, et cetera. If you are not interested, that is fine. Don't volunteer. We'll figure another route if necessary. These organizations oftentimes have meetings during the middle of the day or early afternoons that take time. And so if getting away in order to attend is a problem, don't volunteer. I'm going to at least 4 organizations right now that others weren't able to make. And so
3 of the 5 do have meetings during the day on this list, so.
Again, don't volunteer if your schedule does not allow you to be able to be at these events to represent our city.
And just for clarification on the Travel Expense Review Committee, currently Councilmember Jackson and Councilmember Baird are on that committee, and we need one more for that committee.
Yeah, that's easy. There's no travel or anything there. It's just
It's minimal.
reviewing an expense report whenever turned in.
It
So
is minimal.
anybody could do that. It's really the other organizations.
Thank you.
So I would ask, is there anybody that's interested in the Sister City program?
I have interest, if you could just go a little bit more into what the responsibilities would be.
So that is we will begin advertising probably late this year. We need to start having commitments by February of March of next year. The visits occur in late summer to early fall. It's a citizen-led committee, but staff is a liaison, and so is the city council member will be a liaison to those committee meetings, and they will meet as needed as we make meeting arrangements and host family arrangements for that as well.
It's important to note that, at least from what I'm familiar with, host families are important because when visitors from sister cities come here, they don't stay in hotels. They stay with families.
They stay with the host family, so
And
there'll be recruitment for that as well.
There could be multiple people coming from
Yes. I think there can be up to 10.
Okay. So, again, we're not trying to put anybody on the spot. If we need to think about it and discuss with families, I fully understand that doesn't have to be
Yep.
done tonight.
It does not. I can,
Okay?
I would like to throw my hat in the ring for the North Texas Commission.
I wanted to participate in the Travel Expense Review Committee.
okay.
And then I also wanted to see if there's anybody that would be interested in being the liaison for MetroCrest Services. I think I've learned quite a bit. I think one of the purposes of me initially joining as the liaison was to just sort of understand their mission a little bit more and gain a deeper level of understanding of what it is that they do for our community. And I think I've achieved that, and I wanted to see if there was anybody else who might like that opportunity that would like to be the liaison.
If nobody else is interested to do it, I'll do it.
I think their meetings are once a month at 7:30,
I know.
and their new building in Carrollton, it's over there on Beltline and Josie.
Okay, okay.
Wednesdays.
Okay, so that leaves Trinity River Authority, Dallas County Public Health Advisory Committee.
Currently, Shane attends those meetings, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I can't remember who did it with him prior to me becoming mayor. I'll coordinate with Shane in regards to that.
Okay.
Sorry, Mayor, you said you were going to do MetroCrest? or-
Well, is anybody interested in,
Yeah, that's something I'd be willing to take on as well. No more, just so
okay. Very good.
Okay.
carry on.
So
Councilman.
David, I have you
That's
for
good work.
North Texas Commission and MetroCrest Services, is that right? Okay. Okay. Still leaves Trinity River Authority. You want to come back with that one?
Okay. What about Trinity River Authority?
Yeah, that one's,
Ryan, you're still going to those?
Craig on attends those now.
Okay.
So we're always represented, we do not have a elected position.
I'll go as schedule allows. Some of these meetings overlap, but since I've been there before.
okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Next up is item B10, receive an update from the mayor and council members regarding board liaison information from outside organizations and other meetings attended. Councilman Roman?
I don't have anything.
Was there a MetroCrest? Have they had their meeting yet?
Yes, and I don't have anything to share.
All right. Okay. Well, I will report on several of the organizations that I attended meetings on. Hold on one moment. So the Dallas Regional Mobility Coalition, which meets monthly, I do attend those meetings along with mayors from many other cities in the Metroplex. We get updates on building projects that are going on. And Creason Clemens from TxDOT assures me that the I-35 widening project is still on schedule to be completed in Farmers Branch by December 2025. I ask her that every month, and so she maintains they're going to make that schedule. So that's what they're holding to. The last meeting we had State Representative Dustin Burrows, who represents House District 83. Dustin is from Lubbock, and big discussion with him was regarding education. He sits on a state House Committee on Higher Education, and then also talking about building projects and the state of money coming into this area. As I think I mentioned before, there's about $11 billion worth of road and highway projects being spent in North Texas area, and a good portion of that's being spent in the 4 counties, Dallas, Collin, Tarrant, and Denton counties. There is a push for better connecting Texas. They have the Connecting Texas 2050 plan, which is a statewide long-range transportation plan. I'm sure we'll be getting more information on that here within the next year. But if you look at all the needs for roadways in North Texas, they just keep growing because this area keeps growing. And now, as part of Connecting Texas, the internet has become part of that also. So separate from a highway plan, but it's still Connecting Texas. So it's sort of interesting to see how that has worked into the general situation of things. That's all I'll say about that. Today, we had the MetroCrest Hospital Authority board meeting for the month, and the hospital gave its report on the state of their business. And let me see. They are currently trying to work with surgeons who are in the, quote, twilight of their career, because they have a lot of older surgeons there, and trying to recruit new and younger surgeons to take over. Many of the younger surgeons today don't want to be an independent practice, and so they are actually looking to become more hospital employees and associated that way versus being set up in their own practice. Admissions tend to be pretty stable for what the hospital operator is seeing, and this is for Carrollton Regional Medical Center. So that's the MHA board oversees that hospital. They do not oversee Dallas Medical Center. The MHA board, just in case anybody doesn't know, sold the hospital, but does carry a note with the current operator. The MetroCrest Hospital Authority has been trying to transition to become a philanthropic organization, and that is real important to their mission. And so today, the board just voted to fund almost $3.3 million worth of requests by a number of organizations, such as Woven Healthcare, Texas A&M Foundation for a dental program, MetroCrest Services, the Meadows Mental Health Policy Institute, the Essilor Vision Foundation, Coppell ISD, Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD, Children's Medical Center, Carrollton Fire Rescue, Collier Center for Communication Disorders, and several other smaller requests. So they are investing heavily in our area, and especially with them stepping up to help the school district with needs there. So I'll continue to report on that. There's some other grants that they'll be letting out shortly. The Regional Transportation Commission, which meets at the Council of Governments once a month. I did go and attend the last meeting on behalf of Mayor of Carrollton. And again, there is some duplication with the Dallas Regional Mobility Commission because they're both talking about road projects that are going on in the area. It's just amazing to see the amount of money that is being poured in by the state and federal agencies to help connect North Texas. And so hopefully one of these days we'll get somebody here from one of the organizations to talk in a little more depth about things that are going on. That's really all I have in regards to that. Moving on, last item is B11, discuss future agenda items. Does anybody have anything for future consideration? Councilman?
Yes, I have one thing, and it's, I think now that Tina is off of council, she had brought something up. Having a discussion on the CO process and seeing if there's any changes that are needed. I just want to make sure that even though she's gone, that we continue to look at that. That's it.
Councilman Baird?
Mayor, I've mentioned this to you in the past. Wanted to ask for a resolution, discussion and a resolution on the times that we meet. All of us up here are honored to serve our city, but several of us I know have to take paid time off or half a vacation day that we lose. And it would help if we could move our study sessions to 4 p.m. and our meetings to either 6:30 or 7 p.m. We've heard from some residents also that the 6 p.m. start is right at the dinner hour, and I've heard from a couple at least that requested that. And then moving forward, I would request that as much as possible, we put meetings in the evenings or on Saturdays. For instance, we have, let's see, the board appointments workshop coming up is, I think, a half a day, a weekday, and the joint city council P&Z meeting. If we could reschedule those, that would really help out those of us who are in that situation.
Okay. Guess we'll confer with the city manager in regards to that, since all of these involve staff as well. So, okay. Anything else? Anything for you, Dave? Okay. I do have a couple of things. One, the Arts and Culture Committee, as it stands right now, I would like to see that change to the Arts and Multicultural Committee. That's a change that needs to be done as we head into board and commission appointments. And then this involves maybe a process change. Originally, my thought was for P&Z, but it may apply to other boards and commissions also, and that is if an organization is going to vote no, then they need to provide explanation and reasoning as to why they're voting no, and make that known at the time. Okay? Simply to vote no and get up and leave is not adequate and does not provide any benefit of education to an applicant who may have been turned down for whatever it is. Do I need to mention Bluegrass?
It's from an extended meeting already.
Okay. We will be talking about the Bluegrass Festival on the next meeting agenda, so I'll just let that stand as is. That concludes our regular meeting. The council does need to go into executive session to discuss 2 items of business. So, adjourn?
And we're just going to recess the regular.
We'll reset.
We'll reconvene an open meeting after the executive.
Yeah, so we're going to recess. Council will go upstairs, and we will begin executive session at 8:05, and then afterwards reconvene back to open session. Thank you.
There's a guy in my office that wears, for similar things, he wears glasses that are just plain glass.
So we're rolling. 3, 2. Just going by. Get ready.
Nobody wanted to stay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, we're rolling in 3, 2, 1.
Very good. Welcome back. We're back in regular session. As a result of executive session, we do have one item to take action on. Councilman Baird?
Mayor, I move that the city manager be authorized to negotiate and sign contracts and such other documents that are reasonable and necessary for the Farmers Branch Local Government Corporation for the purpose of resale to Patrick Garza and/or assigns the property described as Lot 17 in Block 3 of Green Meadow Estates Edition, known as 13,330 Veronica Lane, for the purchase and sales price of not less than $245,000, with the resale of said property to be subject to a restriction agreement requiring construction of a single-family residence, approximately 3,000 square feet of air-conditioned space, with an assessed value of the property upon completion of construction, inclusive of both land and improvements, to be not less than $750,000.
Very good. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Show of hands? Show of hands, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That is all we have this evening. We will be adjourned at 9:16. Thank you very much.